Hey everybody, what is going on? It is Crypto Bobby. Hope you can actually see this video at this point in time. Sorry again for all of the issues that have been going on with the previous stream. So hope everything is working out at this point in time. Like I had said, I am currently traveling right now, so the hotel is here's the laptop, here's the setup. So it is not. It's like a little mountainous hotel at this point in time. So I don't think the stream quality is always the best thing in the world, but still a bit laggy. I'm gonna do my best here. Try to fix things as much as possible, but I'll definitely take this. Hopefully the LTE is working well, and trying to take as many of these questions as possible too. Let's just start shooting them. Let's just hang out, and that's a meetup that I'd show up for. What's up, Pizzle? What's up, Johnny? I blame it on BitConnect. Yeah, man. I think those guys popped my tire today too. Check out that 480p hair. You can only do what you can only do. Um, no audio. Hopefully there's audio. Hopefully you can hear me. It's definitely not a hood hotel. It's a pretty sweet hotel, to be honest with you. So, taking a look, why are the markets down? I don't think there's any specific reason why the markets are down at all right now. At least in my mind, there's really no specific reason why the markets are down. It's mostly just on the fact that sometimes sell-offs happen, and shit happens on these in these markets, and especially when you look at where Bitcoin was, kind of how Bitcoin's run up in the past 30 days. I don't think that is. I don't think right now, at least for me, it's not a super cause for concern. Somebody mentioned Monero V. I'm not a big fan of Monero V. I haven't. I've seen enough FUD about Monero V from the founding team of Monero and from the developers of Monero to know that I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. So I'm not at this point in time. Um, I'm not too worried about it. Bitcoin goes up almost 100% from the lows. No one bats an eye. Bitcoin loses 5% from the markets. The market's crashing. Yeah, it's so funny too because it's like everybody out there, Bitcoin runs up where the markets go up 5-10%, and then everybody's, oh my god, we're going back to 20K, we're going to 25K. Bitcoin goes down 5%, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, we're going back to we're going back to 6K, we're going to 2K, we're going to 3K. People just need to relax a lot of times and just take a chill pill. If you're a trader, if you want to play this volatility, obviously there's a lot of people that are smart, know what they're doing, and can play that volatility. I am not a short-term trader. It's not my game. That's not my bag. It's never been my bag. There are a lot of people that are really solid with that. So to them, more credit. But for myself, it's just kind of looking at opportunities to potentially deploy more capital where it makes sense. So that's kind of my thought process on a lot of this stuff. So taking a look at some of these questions here. Sorry, I'm like zooming in on my face. I can't read that far. Ripple got pumped and dumped yet again. Yeah, I talked about that in today's video. I talked about that in today's video a little bit with the whole Coinbase thing, and I think it's kind of silly for a lot of people to. I think buying a cryptocurrency because you think it's going to get listed on Coinbase is dumb. That's just my mind. That's my opinion, though. That doesn't necessarily mean it's true. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to think that. But I do think that buying a cryptocurrency because you think it's going to get listed on Coinbase is a waste of time. I don't think that is the smartest thing to do. And if Coinbase comes out and tweets about it and says they're basically not adding it, and then they go on national television on CNBC and say, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're not adding it," that's going to be a problem for you. And you can see that in the my laptop was working, I would pull up the Ripple charts and show you because it's pretty damn easy to see. So somebody said thoughts on the Coinbase index coming soon. First of all, it's for accredited investors only, so I don't think it's that big of a deal, being that it's for accredited investors only. And then on the side of really on what they're doing, it's basically just Bitcoin. I think it's 60% Bitcoin, 20-something% Ethereum, 4% Litecoin and a little bit Bcash or Bitcoin Cash, whatever triggers you the most. Um, and the big question is, why wouldn't you just go on GDAX and buy that? Like, is it that hard to deposit your money and buy that on GDAX? And I think it's probably geared towards. I think it's probably geared towards a lot of individuals that are not. I think it's probably geared toward a lot of individuals that are probably not as tech savvy and simply want to, simply want to get some exposure to cryptocurrency without having to do anything difficult whatsoever. And for those saying, I'm streaming in like 15p, I apologize. I am literally in the middle of the woods in a cabin, so I'm doing what I can, guys. I'm doing what I can. Hopefully the audio doesn't suck. It's just my ugly face anyway, so it really shouldn't make that much of a difference at this point in time. But somebody said the GDAX digital asset framework has been out for a while, and it clearly says it will only list publicly decentralized blockchain with proof of work cryptography. Ripple is none of those. That is definitely the case. However, it also says in the digital asset framework that just because the digital asset framework says something, that they can also do whatever they want. So there was one specific point there where I forget where it is in the digital asset framework, but it's basically like a little disclaimer in the beginning. It's like, hey, we're putting this digital asset framework together. This is what we think about. But we also don't have to stick to this by any stretch. So that's also another reason why it's kind of silly to do that. Yeah, and if you guys are watching this, somebody just mentioned it. If you're watching this, would love for you to hit that like button. I know I screwed up the other video, and that probably got a bunch more likes, and I'm going to have to take care of that later. Probably just delete that video because it went nowhere, but thanks to the Wi-Fi issues. But yeah, if you could hit that like button, that'd be fantastic to get this video out as much as possible. I know you're long on ZRX and AST, but how do you feel in the coming months? AST near full retrace at this point. I'm still bullish on the decentralized exchanges. You're going to find out soon. I'm very bullish on the decentralized exchanges. There's going to be some interesting stuff coming up soon that I will definitely share with you guys. But I am very bullish on the decentralized exchanges, and yeah, there is pretty much a full retrace on a lot of these cryptocurrencies, and I'm looking at the ones that I think are going to fundamentally be around for quite some time. So, am I live streaming on a potato? Yes, this is a potato that I am live streaming on. I miss crypto, Nick. Don't we all? Don't we all? Is this Is this happy hour? Do I grab a beer or not? So the bar was closed at the hotel when I got here. I just drove up and the bar was closed. So unfortunately, I am drinking water because I would have liked to have sat down at the bar and gotten something good. But yeah, unfortunately, that was not meant to be. Worst hotel ever. Yeah, seriously. Maybe I'll just go black and maybe I'll just go black and have the audio. So hopefully you can hear. Credit starting to dump. That's not surprising. Where am I at, Bobby? 100. I'm too white. Yeah, I know. That's definitely the case. Maybe just try Morse code. I can try. Thoughts on ZeroX and Elf today, loving the price drop. I'm bullish on both ZeroX and Elf. I think they're both very solid projects. As a lot of you guys know, I'm a big fan of the decentralized exchanges. So that's certainly one thing to consider. But I am bullish on both ZeroX and Elf. I do think that you still might have some. I'm not seeing a. If you're interested in further entries with that, I don't think that it would be the worst I don't think it'd be the worst thing to do to wait off a little bit and see if you know they can put a bottom in, because I haven't seen, at least with 0x, it just looks like it's falling off a cliff now. So trying to scroll through some of these questions here. Power Ledger, what are my thoughts? I'm not like the biggest Power Ledger guy. I checked out WePower too. WePower is an interesting one as well. They're kind of similar in some respects. They have a little bit of a different focus, but WePower is a lot cheaper when it comes down to market cap than Power Ledger was. So I'm not in either of them. I actually had a chance to invest in the WePower or in the Power Ledger ICO and missed out on like 20x gains, which I'm still bitter about. So Frank, what's up, man? Thanks for the effort. I'm trying, brother. I'm trying. End of last year, we all heard was exchanges were swamped and the herd was coming. Where are they? I mean, the herd definitely came in November and December. I just, even from the traffic on the channel, the viewership, everything like that. The herd was the retail herd was definitely from November, like the beginning of November, all the way up to the first week of January. And I'm going to be very like traffic and like viewership on the channel after like the bear market started has fallen off a damn cliff. And I think a lot of the people, the quote unquote herd, the retail investors, a lot of them are gone. However, I think what really is interesting is the institutional investors, because most institutional investors are not in the game due to due to issues with custodianship. So at this point in time, most institutional investors are not able to throw money into really able to throw money into cryptocurrency, even if they want to, because there are issues with custodianship, there's issues with insurance. They're not coming, bro. I mean, I don't think there's going to be massive institutional investors that are going to put every dollar that they have in a cryptocurrency, but I think you're silly if you don't think that institutional investors who don't see the massive returns of Bitcoin and some of these other investment products, crypto assets, whatever you want to call them, would not want some of that on a risk-adjusted basis. So there are a lot of smart people like Chris Bernisky, Ari Paul, that have a very interesting background and can speak more about the institutional interest. But I am definitely aware of a variety of hedge funds, family offices that are looking to get into the space. So taking a look through some of these questions here. Sorry, I have to like literally stream through it on the phone. Too hard to buy Bitcoin right now. I don't think it's too hard to buy Bitcoin. That's not the issue. It's too hard to secure Bitcoin for these. It's too hard to secure Bitcoin for if you're an institutional investor. If you work at whatever, let's just use for example. I'm not saying J.P. Morgan is going to do this, but if you work at J.P. Morgan, you're not going to go on you're not going to go onto Binance and buy whatever. You can't go onto Binance and buy Ripple. If you have a $10 million order, you're not going to go into Binance and buy Ripple and market buy Ripple. You would pretty much wipe out the order book and just jack the price up massively. You can do that. You probably wouldn't want to market buy if you're doing a traditional asset, but you can do that in traditional markets. The liquidity is so low. The custodianship, the kind of trusted sources to actually hold your cryptocurrency, there really are none at this point in time. So that's a massive issue. There's also kind of a lack of insurance around that. What happens if you're a large institutional investor buying this stuff for clients and you don't have the proper security and you lose their cryptocurrency? What happens then? Thoughts on WPR WePower? I think it's interesting. It's pretty, in terms of the market capitalization, I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but I think the last time I saw it, it was like maybe 60 mil market cap. Pretty similar in terms of the project to a Power Ledger. The Power Ledger team may be a little bit more impressive in general, but I don't know if it's impressive to the tune of a 5x valuation difference. So WePower is interesting because of that. Somebody said, why is Z Classic pumping? I don't know why Z Classic is pumping. I wouldn't touch Z Classic with a 10-foot pole right now. that is something that there's no incentive right now to own Z Classic. Literally no incentive to own Z Classic, at least in my mind. Like no incentive whatsoever. If you want it, like the only reason that Z Classic went up significantly was because it was basically a tool to speculate on the future value of Bitcoin private. That was why Z Classic went up. Now, why are you're basically acquiring, I'm not going to say it's BitConnect, but you're basically acquiring a dead cryptocurrency that maybe somebody can fork in the future. But really, are people going to get excited again about a Z Classic fork? Like, come on. So taking a look at some of these questions, what do you think of Bitcoin private? I traded ZCL prior to the fork. I am not massively bullish on Bitcoin private in the long run. I don't from the people that from the people that I kind of trust. They've evaluated a lot of the tech, and there are a lot of people shilling. There are definitely a lot of people. Like, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people out there that are right now shilling Bitcoin private. I would personally rather have my money, and I do have my money in Monero and Zcash, and I do think that they are going to be better privacy coins than Bitcoin private. And Bitcoin private. Sorry about that. Give me a second. Try not to die here. I do think that Monero and Zcash are better privacy coins than Bitcoin private. However, just because I think that doesn't mean it won't pump, and I also think it has the benefit of Bitcoin's name, and that's when you look at Bitcoin Gold, you look at Bitcoin Cash, you look at a lot of these forks that probably don't have, in some cases, the tech, but they have Bitcoin's name, then they can do well. So, yeah, I'm going to watch The Bachelor. Man, Ari, what are you doing, bro? Not Ari Paul, the other Ari. This psychopath. Yeah, I watched The Bachelor. I didn't really watch this season now. I've been too caught up in in crypto. What are your thoughts on the Abyss DAICO? I haven't checked it out. I've seen some people think the decentralized autonomous ICOs are like a big deal, and other people like it's literally just you're. The SEC came out and said the DAO is a security and the DAO is basically a scam. And then the SEC has also said every other ICO is also a security. So you're basically wrapping two securities into a security. What's the benefit of that? So I haven't looked at the Abyss decentralized autonomous ICO, the DAICO, but I'll have to throw that on the list. Will regulation bring institutions? I think regulatory clarity would bring institutions. I think that's something. There's not a lot of regulatory clarity at this point in time, which is probably one of the bigger issues. Just because people are frozen. They don't know. You had the stuff with FinCEN come out today, where FinCEN said some things about kind of money transmitting license being required and anti-money laundering and KYC requirements and all types of stuff. And then you have the SEC saying that the ICOs and tokens are securities, and there's just a lot of conflicting information between many of the government agencies in the U.S. So, Crypto Chronicus unsubbed. Bye. Have a good one. Breaking my heart, man. I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight, babe. Have a good night, Cupcake. Um, Crypto's a bit like The Walking Dead right now. Somebody said, watch your talk on the Bitcoin conference. Great stuff. Thank you. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. I'm trying to go through as many of these comments as I can, but since I'm doing this on a cell phone today instead of on my computer, my screen is this big, so I try to make it happen as much as possible. Thoughts on Haven? With Haven, I haven't checked out Haven as much. I've looked at Basecoin. You have the new alternative, I forget what it was called, that just hit up. You have the new alternative that just went on to Bittrex recently as well. So that just came out within the past couple of days. Um, or that happened yesterday too. There's a couple other stable coins. The stable coin market is heating up quite a bit. I don't know which one will be the best one. A lot of them are kind of struggling with the same issues that are happening with Tether. I saw somebody look at the new stable coin that's on Bittrex, and it basically has all the legal issues that happened with has all the same legal issues that were going on with Tether from like a disclaimer perspective. So thoughts on the NeoFUD? So the NeoFUD is interesting. I do think there are fair points. I do believe that there are fair points involved with some of the NeoFUD. I also think that if you are a big fan of Neo, if you're a Neo investor, you look at that, you read what's going on, and you see, okay, is this that big of a deal? Is this something that is going to make or break my investment? And if you think that Neo, the things that came out about Neo are that negative, then maybe reconsider your position. If you look at it and you say, this is something that the Neo team can fix, they can handle it, and they're going to build a better platform in the future, then continue on with your day. It's not that big of a deal. So I mean, overall, I don't have a holding in Neo, but I do think that they are executing better than some of the other platforms out there. So I'm not negative on Neo by any stretch, and I do think that there are issues with it too in terms of some of the technicals behind node centralization. What happens if one or two of the nodes go down, and a lot of the other things that have gone on. So I do there no cryptocurrency is perfect. Like, let's just say that there is literally no cryptocurrency that is perfect, and that's the mistake that people make. Is somebody will go out and write a negative article, but somebody will write a negative article, or they'll bring up negative points, and people will freak out because they own it. And when that happens, people forget that there's no Bitcoin's not perfect, Ethereum's not perfect, Neo's not perfect. You can write an article, you can write a hit piece on every single cryptocurrency out there. He apologized, dude. So whatever, it's still, who cares if he apologized? He still wrote an article that had valid points. So, but I mean, my point on that is that just because there's a negative piece of information out there shouldn't mean it makes or breaks your overall investment per se. DGB, Digibyte, the next coin on Coinbase, definitely Digibyte. It's the next coin. It's the next coin. It's going to the moon. It is going to the moon. DGB on Coinbase. Potato Bobby in the house. Yeah, man. This is like I said, I am currently where we got yeah, in a little hotel. It's like a loft. It's a loft up there, so it's kind of sweet. But if you can actually see that, I think the resolution is on like 4P. So apparently, Minecraft Bobby. That's I can only do so much. I can only do so much. Nope, it's going to be Patcoin. A guy in a garage told me. Yeah, I think Patcoin's next on Coinbase as well. If we're being honest, Patcoin hit me up. uh, Patcoin shot me an email. We're like, hey, you want to make a video about us? I'm like, I'm not going to respond to that at all because you're Patcoin. I got these new, hot, cheap altcoins that are the hottest and the cheapest things on the planet. Those poor kids, man. Oh, to be 17 years old with a Ferrari and think you know what you're talking about. But hey, they got a Ferrari and I don't, so. Hey, talk to me about TRX. I heard they have a partnership. With the U.S. government, the Chinese government, NASA, Tesla, Google, Apple, Microsoft, and maybe the KGB. as well. So I'm pretty bullish on Tron because of that. They have a lot of partnerships in the works already announced, and they're announcing a partnership as well. So, um, yeah, I'm pretty bullish on it. I think it's got a lot of legs. I think it's got a lot of legs. Let's talk about Bitcoin dominance. What will dominance percentage be when Bitcoin is at all-time high? Bitcoin dominance is an interesting it's an interesting topic of discussion. I can't pull it up because I'm on my phone and on broadcasting to you live from a potato. Actually, two solo cups that are connected with strings, and that's coming to you live from that. But Bitcoin dominance is interesting because right now Bitcoin is gaining steam again, obviously. However, there's only going to be one Bitcoin ever, and there are countless ICOs that happen on a consistent basis. There are countless forks that come up. So even if Bitcoin stays steady with their dominance percentage, that's a positive thing. That is a gain in Bitcoin's mind because there's only going to ever be one Bitcoin, and there is going to be freaking 7,000 new forks that come out, and there's going to be there's going to be a Bitcoin private, and there's going to be an ICO, and there's going to be another ICO, and every single time that happens, that dilutes the market share of Bitcoin pretty significantly. So you have to take that into consideration. But I do still think that Bitcoin has been leading the way in the recovery in the past month or so, pretty clearly when you look at really any metric. It's not too difficult to see. So I am uh, I am pretty positive on Bitcoin continuing its upward trend in the market dominance at this point in time. Tell me about the Richard Hart and the Doug Polk interview. I haven't gotten a chance to watch that. I talked to Doug Polk actually fairly often, and we'll hopefully be having a collaboration with Doug Polk on the channel in the near future. There's a couple other people I'll be looking to collaborate with as well. So I think I'll be having a co-live stream with Tone Vase on Friday too. So that should be pretty cool. He's got a very different style than me. Very much more in the technical analysis side of the house. I suck at that and have no experience with that. So it should be cool to hear what's up with Tone Vase and kind of what his opinion is and everything like that as well. Literally seen better picture from the actual moon. Yeah, if you want to tweet me how bad this stream is right now, that's fine. I'll check it out afterwards, and I'll probably laugh about it. So, yeah, if you want to you want to shoot me a screenshot of how bad the quality is, I would love to see it. It looks great on my phone. But apparently it's the shittiest quality that you could ever have in the entire world. So apologies on that. Shout out to the 550 people that are watching this right now, apparently in 10p. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all you guys for doing that for me. I'm trying my best. It's that bad that you look good. JD Wade, if you could hit me up with your comment again, Just repaste it. I missed it. Universa, is that it? I don't know. I don't know too much about Universa. I'll need to look at that more. If that was the comment, JD, that was a super chat. I don't know too much on Universa. I'll have to look into it in more depth. So I will put that. I'll put that into the list of things I need to check out. Best short-term hold, Neblio, OMG, Sub, or Ethos. I think OMG has the most momentum right now. It's held up the best in comparison to It's definitely held up the best in comparison to some of the other ones, at least in my mind. So I think OMG is fairly interesting at this point in time, at least in my mind. Let me take a look at this screenshot. Actually, I'd probably just look at the. I could I could probably. Oh, there we go. Hey, that's not that bad. You guys are just spoiled. You guys are spoiled. I look great. I look. What do we got here? Let's flip it around. Thanks, guys. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but I look fantastic right now. So, no, I'm kidding. One of my favorite happy hours by far. Liking basic attention token a lot. I think it's a good time to scoop up more. I'm pretty bullish on basic attention token in general. I'm bullish on the basic attention use case. I'm not as much sure about the economics behind basic attention token and how it will appreciate, or kind of how it will appreciate in value in the long run. That's kind of my. So I personally, I'm a verified publisher on Brave. I use Brave browser. I'm a verified publisher on Brave. There are some of you guys out there actually contribute basic attention tokens to me. I get paid on a monthly basis in basic attention token, which is pretty cool. So it's actually a product that works, and it's a use case that legitimately works as well. So that's pretty cool to see a cryptocurrency project that, number one, has a usable product, actually has some economics behind it. I don't know at this point in time, though, if it is something that really from my end of the spectrum that is going to be a like how much it can really appreciate. I guess that's kind of like my question, because they do have tough competition. I do like the Brave team a lot, and like I said, I use it. I use it, and I do keep anything I make, with Brave and with basic attention token in BAT, just because I think it's a worthwhile bet to keep it in BAT. So I'm fairly bullish on it, but long term, I do think some of the other like platform plays are maybe a more attractive. Can some places be more attractive, and also for me, I think that the privacy coins are also pretty attractive too. John Toss said people dump basic attention token and steam it when they can back to BTC. Yeah, for me, so I use Steam it. I've had some varying degrees of success with Steam it. Sometimes it's been really successful. Sometimes it hasn't worked out at all. But when I do use Steam, or when I do get paid out on Steam, I am not like massively bullish on the Steam token. So I usually take that money and put it back to Bitcoin or to Litecoin or somewhere else, and send that somewhere else. But usually I'll take that back to Bitcoin wherever possible. Just because to be honest, I'd rather have Bitcoin than Steam. That's just me though. Saying Blockport 44x credits 1000x. I'm not sure. If you're saying credits is going to pull 1000x return, I don't know about that, buddy. Ask Richard Hart about IOTA if you want to get him on the show. I don't know. Is he not a big fan of IOTA? I think a lot of people are not big fans of IOTA personally. I think a lot of people think IOTA's tech is just a load of not good stuff. 1000. Anytime anybody tells you that anything is a sure multiple X, take that with a grain of salt. Like anytime somebody's like, "Oh my God, this is an easy 10x. This is an easy 20x." If something was an easy 20x, then put 10 grand into it and turn it into 200 grand. But nobody's doing that because nothing is an easy 20x. If you knew it was an easy 20x, you'd put your entire life savings into it, and you would pay off your house, and you would have a nice vacation to Fiji, and you'd have a good time. So that's that's that. Nothing is an easy multiple. It's nothing is easy. Oh, something's an easy 10x. Oh wait, it's actually down 70% from when I said it was an easy 10x. Whoops. my life savings times Carlos Matos. What's up, everybody? If it's too easy, it's a BitConnect. BitConnect. Curtis Gebbers, how long after a fork does it usually take before exchanges start trading it? I would assume you're talking about Bitcoin private, and the coin is available on CoinMarketCap. CoinMarketCap is usually pretty quick. So usually within a couple days, I think the company or whoever it is just has to submit the information to CoinMarketCap. But usually that's usually that's something that you want to. Usually that's something you want to take into consideration. Is it usually takes a couple days to get added to CoinMarketCap, but it's not that big of a deal. As far as when the exchanges, that's all up to the exchanges. That's who knows. Could be days, could be months, could be never. Who knows? Lewis, are you a financial advisor? No, I'm not a financial advisor. I make that very, very clear on every video. I'm definitely not a financial advisor. My name is Crypto Bobby, and this is my Bitcoin wallet. Yeah, I got kidnapped now. I'm in a hotel. Here we go. There we are. I'm not in jail. I'm not kidnapped. A-Rose, Bobby Dent keeps delivering. Thoughts on adding 2 Brazilian telcos with 130 million users and a telco in India with 150 users being added this month? Thank you. Dent and Telcoin are, I guess, 2 that a lot of people are interested in seeing succeed. I am not like massively interested in kind of that business. I'm not massively interested in kind of what they're doing. It's just not my cup of tea. I think that there's probably more interesting blockchain crypto projects just in my mind. So I haven't touched them too much, but if they are adding anything that actually has real users, and it's not just like a small pilot program, then that's good on them for sure. That would be, I think, a positive. But I would always check and verify what that information really means. Did they really add 2 Brazilian telco companies with 130 million users? What access do they have to those 130 million users? Is it just a pilot program for 130 users out of those 130 mil? Yeah, so I would check that out. Checking out some of these questions. Who on YouTube is a financial advisor? Nobody on YouTube is a financial advisor. I don't think they do have financial advisors on YouTube. And even if you're a financial advisor, like a legit registered financial advisor on YouTube, then Lewis, see ya. Okay, bro. Bye. Even if you're a financial advisor, you still have like disclaimers and all that type of crap anyway. So, how much Bitcoin for my liver? You're not getting that. Just taking a look at some of these questions here. I'm behind on questions. What do we got? What's your best long-term hold? I mean, I still think that Bitcoin in my mind is kind of one of my most interesting. I mean, Bitcoin is my biggest long-term hold. It's probably one of the cryptocurrencies. I know it's not sexy. I know it's not hot, but when it comes down to long-term holds, Bitcoin is one of my biggest ones. Outside of that, the privacy coins, Monero, Zcash, I'm a very big fan of, and the platform plays in the decentralized exchanges. Those are my jams. That is kind of what I look to at this point in time, with select other altcoins outside of that. What's ADA's problem? there's not that much in crypto right now that's done that well. Cardano is definitely down, 80% from its all-time high. It's also, what's Cardano trading at right now? Let me take a look here. Cardano is trading at 28 cents. A couple months ago, when I got into Cardano, it was at 3 cents. Granted, that doesn't really mean all that much. If you bought Cardano at $1, you're down 75%. But you have to zoom out and you have to look at like USD wise and a lot of these other, a lot of say what can be said about Cardano could be said about a variety of tokens, but yeah, I mean I think that's like Cardano and a lot of these other ones out there have taken a massive hit from where they were, or from their all-time high. But if you zoom back 6 months ago, they were trading at a tenth of what they were, they're trading at a tenth of what they're trading at right now. I need to arbitrage some bandwidth. Bobby is scared of Ncash. I just haven't done enough research, bro. Like, I'm not scared of any cryptocurrency. I just haven't done enough research on Ncash to give you any type of solid opinion on it, to be pretty frank. I know a lot of people that have a good holding in Ncash, but I can't give you any like good solid info on it. Although with the amount of questions that I've gotten today, I should probably, after I'm done with this, I should probably go and read the white paper again and just dive into it a little bit more. What's the worst white paper to read for fun? The worst white paper to read, in my opinion, is the Titanium Bar. Titanium Bar's white paper was a silly joke. It was a mean joke that I read. I think it was 14 or 15 pages. Super short, but it literally says nothing. It literally says nothing. And I called it out, and literally within 12 hours, they got hacked for all of their bar and forked off to T-Bar. And that was after a prominent individual on. That was literally right after. That was a day after a prominent YouTuber posted about Titanium, saying it was a great investment and that it couldn't go any lower, and it literally went to zero because they had to fork it because Titanium got hacked for all of their money that they raised in the ICO. But if you want to read a just terrible white paper, read the Titanium white paper. That thing is gross. Would I ever consider mining crypto? Yeah, for sure. I would. I would definitely. I've mined crypto before. I would definitely consider it, but I just don't have the resources right now to. I don't have the resources right now to really do it. So I do think crypto mining is. It's really interesting. So that is. That is. If you want to get into that game, it's definitely something to do a ton of research on, because when you talk about mining cryptocurrency, when you talk about that Coiny McCoinface, what's up, dude? I haven't seen you forever, brother. Where the hell you been? Um, that is something when you talk about mining crypto, you have to do a ton of research because you're allocating capital and it's not liquid for the most part. If you buy a crappy cryptocurrency, if you buy whatever crappy cryptocurrency, for the most part, you can trade that in 5 seconds. Yeah, maybe you can offload your GPU or your ASIC, but it's not going to be instantaneous. So that's, you want to make sure that what you're buying, that the hardware you're buying, whether it's ASICs or GPUs or whatever it might be, you want to ensure that it's high quality and you're going to get as fast of an ROI as possible. Otherwise, you might be in trouble and you might be sitting on some ASIC that is no longer good because there was a new batch of some other Bitmain ASIC that came out, a day later or something like that. Yep, I'm living in my parents' basement right now, man. Just need to convince the wife the ASIC miner is not a noise problem. Good luck with that, bro. Good luck with that. Robert, I was trying my best, man. Trying my best to keep this stream up. ASIC miners are bricks after a couple months. That's why that's why I was saying you have to be as educated on the stuff as possible, because you can pretty easily buy something and it can be out of, basically it could be useless if the difficulty changes, if an algorithm changes, if just more advanced hardware comes out. So you have to just do a ton of research and start small. I think that's the biggest thing with investing in crypto and with mining. Start small. Start with a tiny bit of capital, because you're going to make mistakes. You're going to screw it up, and then expand once you figure out what the heck you're doing and deploy more capital. Do I invest in comic books? I don't think I've ever read a comic book once in my life. Thoughts on Hashgraph? I don't have a ton of thoughts on Hashgraph yet. It's very interesting. I think that there are a lot of people that think Hashgraph could potentially make blockchains obsolete, um, but that depends upon a variety of things as well. Hashgraph right now, I think in a lot of cases, is very theoretical. There are a lot of cryptocurrencies and projects of tokens and things like that that are more theoretical in nature, not as proven. So I am not you know, a couple different people, saying Hashgraph is a closed source DAG, nothing new, a directed acyclic graph. For those of you who are not familiar, similar to like an IOTA or something like that. But looks like my stream is frozen right now, so hopefully I can get this fixed. If not, then we will see. So hopefully you guys can hear me all right. If not, I might be signing off here if my phone is dying off of me. Awesome. Well, hopefully you guys can. Okay, so you can hear me all right. You just can't see me at this point in time. Then then we'll have to work with that. So I'll try and take a couple more of these questions as much as possible. Um, it's called iPhone dead battery sound is good. Just that goofy face. Thank you. I appreciate the goofy face. I'm trying it. But yeah, I mean, at this point in time, I think I tried to keep the stream alive as much as possible. It wasn't meant to be today. I will find better internet tomorrow after I ski, and I'll probably put up a recorded video. It'll probably take me 5 hours to upload it, but I hope you guys had a good time during the stream. I appreciate the patience very much. I know it was not easy, but thank you guys so much for that. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe and the notify bell. And I would really appreciate it if you hit the like button to get this video out to as many people as possible. Smash that like button. Thank you so much for your time. Crypto Bobby signing out. Have a good one. Peace, everybody.